How you doing? I'm Brendan. In this video, we're going to talk about ternary operators in PHP. If you just want to learn about ternary operators in general, stick around because this video is somewhat language agnostic. It does not matter that you are using JavaScript or some other language. Ternary operators are pretty standard across languages that have them. So in this very simple code statement, or code sample, we've got two things happening. First, we are defining a variable a, and we're setting it to 0 or false. In PHP, 0 is considered false, and false is considered 0. So we're in this if statement saying if a is true, echo yay. If a is false, echo nay. We can rewrite this as a ternary operator by writing this statement here. So if the a, $A, if this evaluates to true, this part of the ternary will be executed. If a is false, this part of the ternary will be executed. And so in this, with a set to false, nay would be echoed out. If a was set to true, yay would be echoed out. Ternaries are a really cool syntactic sugar, interesting way to rewrite if statements to save time, and in some cases to make it easier to read your code and understand what it's doing. However, there are pitfalls. It is completely possible to embed ternary statements inside ternary statements. So if you had a really complex if statement, such as this, you could turn that into a ternary by doing some stuff here. Sorry, my cat is bouncing around. But you really shouldn't. Consider your sanity 6 months from now when you have to read the code you've written. Consider your sanity and consider anyone who has to read your code's sanity. Sometimes, oftentimes, most of the time, it's more important for you to write easily understandable code than it is to be clever. A lot of people will look at complex ternary statements and say, wow, that's really clever. Now go to hell, because I don't want to figure out what your stupid ternary statement does. I can't tell you how many times I've read through some source code in a pull request on GitHub for an open source project and said, okay, great, I get what you're doing here. Now I'm going to spend 15 minutes taking your ternary statement that has 3 other ternary statements inside it apart and rewriting it into an if statement so that the rest of the world who comes and reads this code can actually know what the hell is going on. So consider your future self and consider your future sanity, because any code you write 6 months from now, it might as well have been written by a stranger, because that's about how much understanding you're going to have of it. That's a quote from somebody. Sorry, I'm not giving them credit. I don't remember who it was, but I'm sure they were very important and very smart and very right. There's a cognitive load that happens when you're reading through code. That's why we keep functions short and easily digestible, and we have classes and objects that have a single purpose, right? Because it's easy to understand them and what they do. A ternary statement can add unnecessary complexity to trying to understand what your code is doing. Sometimes it's very useful and very necessary, and writing an if statement just isn't the best way to go about it. But please use them sparingly, ternaries, and consider if what you're writing is better as an if statement simply for understanding it as you read through the code as your future self. Good luck.